Welcome back. Last time, we got entombed and killed. In the most glorious manner that you could imagine, we died, supposedly, as a sultan. Today, we... well, save the tombstone file. Every time I press a button, something weird happens. Ninhursag? The darkness recedes, and the new light breaks on the shores of your mind. Garden at the gate of Brightshaw. Well, I wasn't lying when I said that the same thing happened. I just didn't necessarily specify what the thing was happening. In fact, I kind of messed up because at the beginning of the playthrough, I mentioned that I did reach an ending, which I guess conceivably could have been interpreted as in I died in the Tomb of Reshef as well, but I shouldn't have said that the same thing happened. Clever people might have noticed that this kind of gave it away. But I kind of wanted to play it in the way as, well, something happened, and now we're in Brightshaw? Well, we're at the gate to Brightshaw. We can explore the area. Apparently I picked up some fruit. You harvest the star apple. Yeah, we just harvest star apples here. Okay. My character is really trying to knock out this statue of the Eater for some reason. It is fine, which means we actually did in fact damage it. So we were just trying to explore the nooks and crannies. I actually don't know if you can do anything in here. I'm famished apparently. Can I make a campfire here? Again, preserve fresh foods. I hope you don't mind, sir. I'm gonna get to you in just a moment. You eat the meal. Extra natural healing rate. Whenever you take damage, there's a chance you heal. Sure. Anyways, I actually never checked whether I could even break through these walls. Burnish Azurum, we could. We could conceivably do that. Anyways, let's just do the normal thing. This is the Rainwater Shomer. Damp clothes of the Shomerim habit, a hoish, a tollet, and a robe drape over air as if they swathe a person's figure. Raindrops from another world patter on the bosks of ribbon thread, transforming from tense spheres of selfhood to diffuse moisture on the fibrous loam. Old life is absorbed by the ageless linen, wrung out by an invisible hand, and the cycle repeats itself. Hello. Saad, welcome, Saad. From thine here's shaken the wet and old lift, Saad, into swell vessel pouring hit, Saad, to thine session attacking the vessel, Saad, crossing now through the height gate and into Brightshaw. Am I dead? Saad, the body Dean, but the mind Roman. It's really hard to read this guy. What is this place? Saad, standing thou at the height gate of to Brightshaw, then here's been wet with old life. Saad, Shaken thin head and cross into new life. It's like a mixture of like English, German, Dutch. Is Russia here? No South Russian residing here. Okay, so we know Reshef is still alive, presumably. Why do you call me Saad? Art thou a Saad of old Salem, and now standen at thou the height gate of Brightshall? Salem, is that another name for cut? Saad, yes. Okay. I've come from the thick world with a mission to disable the spindle's magnetic field. Can you do this for me? Wait, what? Hold up. We are, well, at the gates of Brightshall. Why do we need to go to Brightshall to disable the magnetic field? What is Brightshall? Like, my understanding until now that it must have been the afterlife, but I mean, I guess to an extent that is arguably accurate, but simultaneously, this region also appears to have regency over the magneticism of the spindle. So it might technically be some form of afterlife. Actually, maybe there are like various sci-fi concepts where people scan their brains and get transferred into the virtual world. And I guess something like that could be going on here. So this must have been created by the people of ancient times, and they are now making their own afterlife. At least that's how I understand it. Maybe. I've come from the thick world with a mission to disable the spindle's magnetic field. Can you do this for me? Oh yeah, the thick world and the thin world. The thin world is... So we are in the thin world. We are in digital space. Actually, this confirms it, doesn't it? Because I believe Ereshkigal, the computer over in the bathroom enclave, or enclave, is communicating to us from the thin world. Wonder if Ereshkigal would have actually more information on the matter. I never actually bothered to talk to her about it. Anyways, can you do this for me? Cut was once called Salem. You note this piece of information in the gossip and lore section of your journal. The clothes shrouding the rainwater showers form are still for many moments. The Shrombring Common. Why order we? Because I am Assad, after all. Oh, Assad is a sultan? The Shrombring remain unbelievable. The Shrombring remain unbelievable. So he is not believing us, I think. Where is Brightshall in relation to Cut? To Salem? Aloft the Gyaus sit the twinkling, and there the seraph dreaming. The Brightshall is the dream. So the Brightshall is the dream? Aloft the Gyaus sit the twinkling. I think he's trying to tell me that on top of the spindle? I think he's probably referring to the spindle here. A city twinkles, like, I guess it's blinking, still alive. And that's where the Seraph dream, and Brightshall's the dream. Okay. Am I dead? Okay, the Shomer claims that Brightshall is the dream of a seraph who lives atop the spindle. Okay, it does actually just straight up write it out for me. I appreciate that. Okay. What is this gate anyways? This is the gate to Brightshall. Do I have my inventory here? Could I teleport out of here? It might be difficult to come back here if I do. Let me just drop this EMP grenade here. Just to curious because if I can. And I appear to be able to. I am so tempted to check as to what happens if I just go through the wall here. Anyways. Ah, right, we do have more information on this matter. Something changed atop the spindle. If Brightshall is indeed connected to the city there, then this change may suggest it's in peril. Oh, that seems kind of far-fetched, but I guess technically possible. The close shrouding rainwater form remains still. 1 year ago, someone began broadcasting a signal from atop the spindle. I have a recording of it here. The closest shrouding and rainwater form remains still. I ask you, disable the magnetic field so that the spindle can be ascended and the signal investigated. Saat, the Seraph sprechen. Saat, the Seraph talks. Because sprechen is kind of like German for talking. Saat and thou asken the Sombrin ascenten. The Shomrin, so the spindle is the Shomrin. Saat, wilt thou return to Salm or cross into Brightshaw? This ends the game, in case you're curious. We could cross into Brightshaw, but we're not going to do this playthrough. If it can be done, return me to Cut. I wish to send a spindle myself. Sad, now then, return. I'm ready. The matter of your body starts to thicken and clot. You're inlaid with ribbons of bone, tissue, nerve, and flesh. You discover the recoming knock at Gil. If you remember, the becoming knock is where cyborgs can get their implants and such, and this is a recoming knock. The neoteric body is differently charged. Tying inside you is another of the secret knots that bind the world. You gain an additional floating nearby slot. So in case you're wondering how you get more chiral ring slots, that's how. Now, there's a chest over here. There's also a full-scale recompositor. Well, this is the Gilded Marble from the Sultans of Mexis. So Mexis was the guy that presumably put that here. Let me just grab my things real quick. Equip. No, not this one. Equip. 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 Right. Okay, the reason why I'm just specifically equipping these things... Also, give me my Urberries. Is because... There we go. I was just worried these guys would be... not here anymore. Alrighty, so... The reason why I was so worried about these things is because these friends are no longer attached to me. They get teleported to this location, but they are no longer, technically speaking, my friends. So I can attempt to proselytize them again and beguile them again, which is probably what I'll be doing, because they are, well, they're neutral. This is why I wanted to have Snapshot reputation, so we would be able to ask them again to join us. I'm just briefly going to grab my water, because I'm parched apparently. Because after you get recoming knocked, that is apparently what happens. I'd like to grab... Schrodinger's page. From the Annals of Cut. And we're gonna entangle this text for more Snapshot reputation, because I don't know if they're gonna be hostile towards me if I fail the Beguile spell otherwise, because again, they are basically just random legendary snapshots that happen to be here at this moment in time, which means they could just absolutely murder me if they feel like it. Right, I'm now favored by snapshots, which means they should be friendly rather than just baseline, so to speak. We're no longer... Well, what's the word? Thirsty. Okay, equip this. Just in case. Equip. Equip. So, just in case. These guys are not friendly, right? I believe Ubu has less maximum HP than Bardo, because I usually had Bardo beguiled and Ubu proselytized. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing again. Proselytize Ubu. Nice, welcome back to the team, friend. And... beguile. Alrighty, I don't know if this is guaranteed. Last time I did this, it was also just working first try. I don't know if this is random, whether it works first try or not, or what it is exactly. Or whether it's just guaranteed. I'm, anyways, very glad that it just straight up worked. And you might notice, this is the basic reason as to why I left our other friend over in... what's the face? Let's grab some Void Glander paste. Whenever you teleport, this you can't use teleport other. Okay, sure. Anyways, I know there can be enemies around here, which is why I was just grabbing items one by one, hoping that my snapshots don't get into deadly encounter by accident. There's a Gushling over there. And it's coming over. And it's getting attacked by fishes. Actually, it is attacking fishes. Anyways, the reason why I left Chewie over there is quite simple. Chewie and Isahari and Snapjaws, I think... I actually have no idea if they're hostile against each other, but they probably are. So I did not want to have my Snapjaw followers and Chewie at the same time. This is why I set up another recoiler. So we're gonna activate this. Teleport back here. Are you still following me? You are. Okay, so I would not even need to proselytize my buddies again if I just went and grabbed them. Now, if you look at my character, I am no longer tattooed with the mark of death. Which I believe means that... Actually, basically, if you just look up here, the Cherubs are aggressive now. I have no desire to fight them, but I just want to show that real quick. Yeah, you can see the Cherub is aggressive now. I think this is because I don't have the Mark of Death anymore. The Reliquary might be gone from here. I'm just curious. Yeah, there's no more reliquary here. Basically, apparently you can just take one item from one of the chests. However, I do wonder if you can place like their relics back into these chests as well. So we are astrally burdened here, which means teleport has a chance to fail. And we get out of here. We succeeded. We disabled the magnetic field and returned from Brightjowl, which is fascinating in its own right. We do have an additional floating nearby slot. Let's re-equip the quantum mode. Could actually literally just make a second one by duplicating it. You know, I have nothing else to do. Might as well give a quantum mode for everybody. Sure, why not? Let's just make a quantum mode for everybody. Let's unequip this one real quick. Apply this metamorphic polygel to the quantum mode. There's a second one for me. Apply it again. This is one for... Ubu. Then this is one for... Why is it a separate stack now? That's weird. This one is for Bardo, and this one is for Chewie. Alrighty, equip this, equip that. Probably just the game trying to process that we have multiples of a different thing or something like that. Anyways. Ubu, you earned a quantum mote. We managed to survive the Tomb of the Eaters. Here you go, you get one. We no longer need that floating glow spheres. Bardo, you get an outer one too. I honestly don't remember who I recruited first, Bardo or Ubu. But I feel like it's only correct to just give it to them before Chewie. And all of them now have extra resistances and defense and evasion, thanks to the floating nearby slot. Alrighty. So I know this is going to be a very short episode this time around. But I hope you understand why I kind of wanted to split up the previous section into 2 parts. Because I just kind of wanted to take a moment to express my appreciation for this game. This is the first, let's say, traditional roguelike that I've played more than just a little bit of. I played a lot of this game. And they do have the Wonder mode, they have the roleplay mode, which allow you to restart from certain checkpoints in order to continue playing the game. Which I think is fantastic for accessibility and for people who just really don't enjoy the roguelike mode type of things. For me, however, I will say, the rogue mode is what kind of made this game so special to me. It is because I was so worried that I could die at any moment that I was doing my absolute best to prepare so I wouldn't have to just restart from the scratch all over again. It is the reason why I've been so careful with so many things, trying to just, you know, not just keep me alive, but my allies as well, because they grow stronger alongside me. I get to know what they kind of do, and you know, they're pretty good in their own right, to say the very least. And basically, that scene where you get entombed, I had a flashback to previous memory, when I first got there, of the game asking me, hey, do you really want to jump down this deep shaft? It is really deep. And I injected a rubber gum injector to jump down Golgotha's shaft, in case you were curious, when I got that message and just said, yeah, sure, I want to jump down there. And you don't survive it without a ton of health or a lot of luck into jumping down Golgotha with a rubber gum injector, let's put it this way. And I died with that character. And every time the game asks you, hey, are you sure you want to do this? It's either something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, like trying to beguile your already proselytized follower, which, I mean, it makes sense in a very niche scenarios like ours in this case, or if you want to really step into that asset, if you really want to step into that lava, are you sure you want to jump down here? And the game just keeps asking these questions every time where, you know, the game is really serious about this. Are you sure you want to do that? And I had absolutely no clue on what else I could possibly do aside from letting that robot there entomb me, or allowing me to entomb myself in the tomb of Reshef. I felt like I exhausted all options. I had no idea what else I could do, so I kind of made peace with the fact that I will probably lose that character when I wrote in entomb. And I made peace with the fact because also, I knew I could get back there. Not necessarily without any trouble, and it would still take like a day or two, but compared to the first time I arrived there, it took literally like a week of playing the same character that I've slowly and carefully built up and got there, and I had the knowledge that I could get back there within a day, maybe 2 if I really tried. And next time, I would hopefully find out what I was missing, so I wrote entomb that first time through, and you died. You know, every time you die in this game where you just kind of attached to a character, you get that momentary feeling of sadness. To me, that one does not last long, especially since I was kind of prepared for it. But also a new resolve to figure out what happens next. I took a screenshot of that death, posted it on my Discord, and just kind of described as to approximately what happens with the appropriate spoiler tags. Then I went to go and buy some groceries. I came back, sat down on PC, ready to start another run. Tried to save the tombstone, pressed F1, and was like, wait, what's happening? And that's when the game somehow continued. I was absolutely amazed that it just continued there. And I took more or less the same options as I did just now. I decided to go ahead and, well, go through the Recoming Nook, which, by the way, I kind of should have briefly showed you the overworld map. The Recoming Nook is in the middle of the southeastern water pond. There's like a little island there or something of that equivalent where the Recoming Nook is located. Anyways, that was kind of surreal to me. And then I went outside. I was not friendly with the Snapshot faction. And I also still had a Snapshot, actually I had, what did I have? At least one of the, I'm pretty sure the Snapshot was not friendly towards me, and he was an axe-wielding maniac with increased strength. You know how Ubu has increased agility? That one had increased strength and multi-arms. He was wielding 4 crystal axes, and he could have absolutely murdered me if I got unlucky, but at that moment, Beguile also just worked first try, and I felt like I was really lucky, and I managed to get my team back together as well at the time. This is why I was preparing a little bit more beforehand, knowing that I should be able to do that. I also used that extra entangled pages to make sure I was friendly with the Snapshots, just in case the Beguile would fail, because I think neutral creatures become hostile if your Beguile ability fails on them. Friendly don't, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to give you a brief retelling of that little interaction, because this kind of elevated Caves of Cut for me personally from being a really fascinating experience to truly memorable, and probably makes it to the top 10 favorite games of all time at this point. Again, I've never actually really gotten into a roguelike before, because I just didn't stick to this. And truth be told, it took me 5, 6, 7 attempts of just playing Caves of Cut, playing it for 5 minutes and just bouncing off of it, trying it again, bouncing off of it, watching somebody else play it. I was playing SB on YouTube, and she has a series on that. Later on, I was watching Rogue Rat on YouTube, who also has a series on that, and eventually I just tried again, bounced off of it, tried again, and found this Minion build that I kind of really enjoyed just playing with. Learned that I can dominate creature in order to spend their skill points and mutation points, and started slowly formulating a plan on how I want to approach playing this game and explore the world. And that's kind of when it hooked me. But now, we are back at Gridgate. Let us actually go ahead and briefly visit Barathrum and tell him that we succeeded. Huh. Dardy, Moth too, come in, eat. You seem more irritated than usual. Otho has forbidden me from requesting a sample of Clank. I am to refrain from being puffed on, to cultivate my own. Are we yet researchers? Is subject consent no longer adequate ethical rigor? Let Clank puff on Dardy. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I could grab that crocodile and make it puff on Dardy. I wonder if that has any interesting effect. I've not seen this interaction before. I just talked to him because he ran across me here. That is wonderful. Oh, I love that guy. Hi. Yes, Mothy. Okay. Which also means Clank is done here. I believe I could have gone down here earlier and found Clank. Oh my goodness, you guys have... There's a lot of trash laying around. Is Baratham just laying asleep? He's asleep. Hey buddy, we made it. Wake him up. Is that you, nestling Moftu? Are you returned from the gate and tomb? Come closer, I say. It is, Baratham. I have returned. You appear refreshed. My old eyes spy the swim lines of the waking world, and to you they proceed. A newness obtains. Huh. Outside of time, I found myself in a place of light. I chose to return, and was made near. Baratham pauses. I am confident there is a richness of wisdom in the poetry of that statement. One day I will be eager to discover it. For now, what of the spindle? He actually has no idea about the reconnox, I guess. I found Brightshaw, where it lies beyond the tomb. I spoke to the Shomer there and arranged for the disablement of the spindle's magnets. Wait, the Shomer has the same model as the... well... the very dead Reshef lore guy had. I wonder whether that's some form of connection. I need to dive into the lore of Caves of Cod at some point, so I can actually explain the nooks and pieces. But I figured for at least the first playthrough on YouTube, I would like to just try and piece things together as best as I could. Alrighty, I found Brightshaw. Baratham breathes a deep and relieved sigh. You are even a courier of bright tidings, Moftu. I am fond of this fact. Categories and types are decohering in these historic times. Nonetheless, the ritual nourishes us, and you are raised to Maven, Moftu, the one who understands. Continue listening. You are promoted to the rank of Maven. I don't know what that means. Take this too. A chute of morphing gel from my personal collection. You've arrayed yourself in the artifacts of time, and so we have little left to give you, but still, this may be useful. Alrighty. So basically, the game is telling us that you have probably gotten so many artifacts and such at this point that the best we can do is just give you a way to duplicate one of them. We get metamorphic polygel. Now matters have evolved in your absence. Do you choose now to learn more? I do. High on the mountain above Omonporch, the Putis Templar watch us through their war lenses and prepare an attack. The Nephilim too stir from their cradles on the moonstair and slump with infernal purpose. The short of this is, due to a dearth of prep time and inadequate armament, Pax Clank no longer believes in the viability of Kugor's climber design. We must take Clank at its words here. Continue listening. This disheartens us, but there is another hope. Clank has offered us up a new design, something unconventional at all angles, and despite our early misgivings, Kugor and I now work in assistance to the project. A new creature struggles to be born, Moftu, and you will help birth it. Then it will carry us, you and I, to the top of the spindle. Pax Clank will mold the creature from raw bioelectrical materials. You must gather these entrails, the body as a model, the catalyst to charge the sanguine fluid, the asmus as deistic direction, the armament for protection, and the hamsa for personality. You will bond with the creature too, and act as its pilot, so you must speak an incantation to inscribe the connection. You'll also need to procure the sanguine fluid itself, and too, a power source shielded from electromagnetic attacks. Alrighty, there's a lot of things that we will need to find. Let us begin then. We're gonna inquire him afterwards. Yes, Moftu, begin the gathering, and the molding will follow. The materials you choose will influence the being we create, but any such being will be suitable for ascent. This is our last task before we make our historic climb, Moftu. Be safe and well in doing it. If you have more questions, return here. Clankada will be available. Okay, we have received a new quest, the Golem. Alrighty. We didn't seem to get a experience for completing the previous quest, I guess, but that's how it is. My goodness, there's a lot of trash here, buddy. Clank puff on you. Later. Now Clank pauses puff for Prickle's favor. Can you tell me about the components I must gather? Soup, body, catalyst, atmos, armament, incantation, hamsa, power source, soup. Ask component. Tell me about soup. Primordial soup, 20 grams, acts creature, circulatory, liquid, catalyzed and boom, animating substance. Electromagnet induced sinusoidal flow. Sinusoidal flow? Tell me about the body. Body of creature, friend to creature. After. Must follow you and be experienced. No worry, friend not consuming the creation. This part I missed. Okay, let me explain real quick. One of the requirements to bring is that you need to provide a follower level 30 or higher. I had 2 followers at the time, a Snapjaw. In my first playthrough of this, I had a Snapjaw friend and a Mechanimist Preacher. On both of these I did not want to lose. I didn't have 3 followers, I only had 2 at the time. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and recruit Warden Une from the Eat Freehold and offer that one. And then Une just kind of stuck around with me because friend not consumed in creation. Because I did not want to lose the others, and I completely missed that I could ask Pax Clank about the various parts. I did ask Barathrum about the parts, and he's actually significantly more, cryptic about what we need. Tell me about the catalyst. 3 gram of pure liquid to catalyze soup and circulate nutrients. Liquid choice, alter sanguine mixture, change creature. Tell me about the Atmos. Atmos transcendental imprint of being, patent trait of the creature part crossed with body. I actually don't get that one. Tell me about the armament. Sadochrome weapon, attuned creature to the martial art and shape Metachrome fist, types in fashion after. Okay, I used I think a Sedachrome longsword. We don't even have a Sedachrome weapon right now to my knowledge. Tell me about the incantation. Words spoken from your experience and inscribed to form being bond. First sons heard in creatures early in the dream brain. Okay, tell me about the Hamsa. Chosen token to palm soldier, to palm solder and orient with object meaning, 5 pounds or less. Like others, choice alters creature trait and behavior. Tell me about the power source. Ascending creature need Mightful battery with rare electromagnetic shielding. Purple prickles make neutron cell with 3 flux, or must find different source. Where do I place components once they are gathered? Interact with scrap clay mount, then chat Clank to solder circuits and stir the soup. I love how Pax Clank is simultaneously very short in his explanations and talks and very, matter-of-factly simple. And yet he is the most understandable of most of these conversationalist creatures I have spoken to. It's kind of fascinating. Tell me again about the mold. A power source? Yes, the question of power is a tricky one. Our standard power sources might suffice, but they would be vulnerable to electromagnetic attacks on the ascent, and we believe it within the competency of the Putus Templar to execute such an attack. This leaves us 2 options. Clank and Kugel have worked out a design for a neutronic battery, free from vulnerabilities on the EM spectrum. Oh, that's the purple one. But it requires 3 grams of neutron flux. The alternative is remote power, but to carry us across the spindle's length, the source would have to be extraordinary. I would look to Cheva, the Tree of Life, for a psychic quickening. Reports tell of the resumption of their roaming across the Moonstair. Seek the trunk at Ain Roy to begin your investigation, if that's the path you choose. Alrighty. That is actually a very interesting one, which is the power source I aim to go for, because we could just randomly gather 2 more grams of neutron flux and be done with it, but I think it is significantly more interesting to pursue that other source of potential power. And that is what I will be aiming to do. Anyways, this is gonna be a bit of a shorter episode because we managed to conquer, if you will. Actually, yeah, this time I would say conquer the Tomb of the Eaters. I didn't just run through. I actually properly feel like I explored them properly. And they even got an additional phase from it. This is the null phase. The others would have been significantly better in stuff, but this is the one I have now, I suppose. I'm gonna equip my Vibro Kopesh again, switch my handedness to left-handed, because you can just do that in this game. And I'll leave it for that for today. It's a bit of a shorter one, because I decided that I wanted to have that cut. It is still like literally like 10 seconds later I restarted the next recording in order to continue playing. And I think the previous episodes have been long enough anyways by themselves, so a bit of a shorter one is probably in order. Next time, we have a huge laundry list of things we need to acquire. We need to bring Sanguine Fluid, 20 grams of Primordial Soap. If you remember, I filled a water bag with one of these, and we have that in one of the chests somewhere. Choose a body at level 34 or higher. We need to provide 3 grams of a pure liquid, which can be many liquids. We have plenty of those. Provide the limb of a creature. You know what? Let's just make this the next thing Bardo is going to dismember. Whatever it is, we're just going to provide that. In case you're wondering, the Black Puma haunch that you can buy on so many traders does not work. It feels like that one should work too, but like it was literally the first thing I was thinking of when I saw provide the limb of a creature, and unfortunately that is not an option. We need to get a Satachrome weapon, so we need to find a trader or an enemy that has one and get it. Provide an entry from your chronology, you just do that I guess. Choose a Hamza, an item that weighs 5 pounds or less. If you have any ideas on what I could use, I'm actually not sure. Actually, I do have just a silly idea right now. I did pick up this high-powered magnet. I'm gonna use that. I'm just gonna drop this here, so hopefully I will not forget about it. And last but not least, acquire an Ascension power source. So, Barathron told us that we should go all the way to the east and visit the Tree of Life. That is what I intend to do. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening and for lurking. I hope you enjoyed your stay. I hope you enjoyed being around and well. Hopefully until next time, take care and have a good night. Bye bye.